I'm Wayne County Treasurer Eric Sabree. We are living through unprecedented times with a global pandemic now approaching its third year. As a result, the Michigan Homeowner Assistance Fund was created. This fund, administered by the state of Michigan, is designed to help homeowners cope with pandemic-related hardships, such as delinquent property taxes. To see if you qualify, please visit. Call 313-388-9799 or email taxinfo@waynecounty.com. We're here to help.
Good morning. This is the almost weekly broadcast of the Ask Welfare Rights Program. We've been away a couple of Fridays. We had some god-awful weather. Ooh, Lord. Difficult things has been happening on Fridays, but happy to be here today. This is the last Friday broadcast of the year, and we have a special guest that got up and got dressed this morning. So my name is Maureen Taylor, and I work with Michigan Welfare Rights. And today we are honored to have the chairperson, recently retired from the National Welfare Rights Union, and that would be Miss Marion Kramer. So, Marion, please say good morning and hello.
Good morning, and I hope each and every one of you had a wonderful holiday. And we still have one coming up. And it is good to be here, and it's good to see our person that keep us swinging here, and that's our
Tim.
Tim. And so let's see where we're going today, Maureen. It hasn't been too, we've been going through a lot here in not only in Highland Park but throughout the city of Detroit, and we need to talk to y'all.
All righty. If you want to give us a call, the numbers are at the bottom of the screen. But if you can't see them, it's 868-4336, 868-0351, or 868-0342. And, of course, if you're online, you can always check in at www.tv33whpr.com. So, Marion, a couple of things. The League of Revolutionary Black Workers has a permanent mark on the role of labor. And it was very vibrant and huge and very involved and revolutionary over the last 40 plus years. But it's clear now that as time passes, we're going to lose members of that organization from time to time. And on the 19th of December, 2 Mondays ago, we had to say goodbye to another one, Mr. Ed Taylor. Edward Arnold Taylor passed away. Looks like there were a lot of upper respiratory problems and whatnot that he had been suffering with for many months, probably a couple of years. And he has joined the ancestors. So wanted to say something about Ed. Marion, you one of the original members of the League of Revolutionary Black Workers. What do you want to share about Ed Taylor?
So were you. So remember that, Maureen. I know you don't remember your birthday and stuff.
Go right ahead, ma'am.
But, Ted is going to, not Ted, but
Ed.
Ed was a wonderful person. And it's hard to sit here and talk about all the things all of us did together and was able to stick as long as we did to fight for the workers. Not only just the workers, because you're saying the workers, because the workers comes from all the people on the streets,
Community,
people on public assistance and everything. We were fighting for you. And here we had to give one back, Ed. It was a lot of fun. We were a part of the league and part of the what was the name of our group we sung?
The
With
Red Label Strugglers.
That's right.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they would work us to death on that Red Label Struggles to sing another one, sing another one.
Yeah.
But it was music to the ear. I mean, to folks. We used that when we were out there picketing these different capitalists. Even at that time, we have a hell of a thing that we looking at these years, and we got to ask questions. Uh, you know, Maureen, we have to begin to check on people. That's what Ed would do continuously. I had talked to him a day before, and I said, "Who is this?" He said, all right, don't say Marion, this Ed." And I said, "Oh, I'm so glad to hear your voice." And he said, "Yeah, I'm checking on you. I'm checking on you."
So,
And that, what, 2 days later,
yeah.
he was gone. Maureen had just talked to him. So, we're proud to have been a part of a group like Ed, who played, what factory he worked in?
Well, Ed worked it with Chrysler,
Yes.
and we're talking about a group of us, maybe 50 or 60 of us, that have been together in different kind of organizations, fighting for the rights of the working class for decades.
I mean,
And
decades.
Ed worked at the Chrysler factory. And with that, let's talk about this other league person that we had to give back. And you had to call me to tell me that we just lost Richard Moore.
Yes.
And Richard, I was talking to Johnny Boy, and Johnny was telling me where he first met Richard Moore was at Huber Avenue Foundry.
Yeah.
And I remember whatever I have known throughout my life about Huber Avenue Foundry, over on Huber Avenue on the east side of the city of Detroit, I learned it from Richard. And talking about what the foundry was. That's the place where they mix the steel and the iron up, hot as the daylights. Explosions all the time. And just heard, when Marion called me the other day, that we had to give Richard Moore back. Richard Moore ended up out at Sterling with Johnny Boy.
Yeah, he
And
did.
they worked together for years. Go ahead. What do you want to say
I think
about Richard Moore?
I think John Williams also for a while was out there. We're losing some dynamic people.
And we're talking about organized workers that change the world.
Oh, yes, they did.
It takes Claire, we call her Squeaky. It takes Claire to go
right.
over the details and talking about the contracts that the UAW put together that became the model for all workers everywhere.
Everywhere.
And the UAW workers, and that time I got mad at Jen because this guy's picture down at the used to be the UAW building right there on Jefferson, and this guy was in there, his picture, and he was the first UAW retiree that retired with a pension. And that guy's picture was on the wall, and I saw it and went crazy. How come I didn't know this? How come I didn't know this? But we're talking about an organization of disciplined workers, Alonzo,
and
Mitch,
William.
Waistline, and a whole long list of folks that were part of the league and just orchestrated the way work and the way workers should be treated all over the earth. Union contracts, holidays, benefits. How about that? There was a time that you understood that if you got hired at a job, you had vacation time coming, and you had sick pay, and you had medical benefits.
Yeah, you had
had
all that.
all of that, and that's because of
And
those
when you
workers.
died, and if your family,
Taken care of.
if it was taken care of, so these days, looky here. These days, we're gonna have to look. We're gonna have to sit down, at our other place we got two other place and look at some of that history for young folks, because I tell you, it would even during that period of time, young folks also was killing each other.
Well,
And but the
before
league when the league came together, I remember that we had to go in the community and stop some of that nonsense that was going on.
Well, we're going to get to that in just a moment. Before we go there, though, I thought we would just take a moment to talk about and reflect some of the things that were happening. Dodge Main was in Hamtramck. Chevrolet Gear and Axle in Hamtramck. Lynch Road Assembly, Huber Avenue Foundry. Some of those factories, Cadillac Fleetwood up on Michigan Avenue. And the Lynch Road Bar, which was always fantastic to me because they had the best hamburgers, and an activity where workers created and organized all of these things. And I think back, Marion, you remember Esquire's on Dexter where you got the corned beef sandwiches?
Yeah. Jen and I used to go there quite a
Now, after
Go
you
at
go
nighttime,
to
get
your
it.
nightclub, if you were still clubbing, and you could go up there on Dexter to Esquire's and, maybe 3 or 4, at least 3 inches of corned beef. And sometimes you may have to stand in the line on Dexter. Never afraid.
But you always knew the people too.
And you were not afraid to stand outside for 20, 30 minutes.
That's right.
One of my favorite restaurants, you may not remember it, it was called Greenleaf's.
I
Up on Linwood. Do you remember Greenleaf's?
Oh my God, that's
Greenleaf's,
another one I stood in line for.
Stood in the line. Greenleaf's was on Linwood, not too far away from West Grand Boulevard. And the best dinners.
Oh, my
and could go into Greenleaf's. Again, might be 20, 30 people standing in a line, and half of them you knew. And this is when we had 2 million people, and you still knew who they were. And
Yeah.
workers would show up at these places with their union jackets on.
You could at Greenleaf, you can go in there and have a dinner for your family and stuff like that. It was really good. All that stuff is gone now.
But I say we weren't afraid. We weren't afraid to stand out in the line in the dark, 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning.
That's right.
You
But
was all
see,
right.
a lot of them was coming from those factories too, going there. Even downtown Detroit, what is it, Friday evening, people would be going downtown to
Movies.
No, not only the movies.
We had 5 movie theaters
Yeah,
downtown.
not only that, but they would be standing in line for their checks from what's the name of it? It was like Walmart or something like that, but it wasn't Walmart. But it was they would be down there waiting on that check. To
I don't
cash
remember
those
that.
checks. Yeah.
I don't remember that. What
we
I
have
remember,
to go down there and Jen and I would we would go down there and he'd go get his check or something like that. Get you to cash it, and
Cash the check down there.
Yeah, but it's more than it was.
Okay,
more
I
than
don't.
that.
I don't remember that. What
Maybe
I do
you were just a
remember,
teenager
well,
at
I
the
say
time.
what I remember is that you had the Grand Circus Theater.
Yeah.
You had the Adams Theater.
Sleep all night.
Madison Theater. What else was it? Grand Circus Park. You couldn't take food into where you sat because they didn't want syrupy stuff on the
Right.
floor and popcorn. So we had Madison, Adams, the Fox Theater, and it
That
was
was the
one
biggest
more
one.
that was a big
Yeah.
one. And all of that was downtown. All of that was downtown. And maybe it opened at 2 or 3 o'clock. That was the matinee, and then 20 minutes later, the next show, and 20 minutes later, the next show, and then maybe it didn't end until 1 o'clock in the morning. And then there was a place for you to eat. Now, again, I know we've talked about this before, and I always think about it. What is the name of the restaurant that's on Grant? Maybe somebody will know. 868-4336, 868-0351, 868-0342. The name of the restaurant that was on the corner of Woodward and Grand Circus Park, Flaming Embers. It came back to me. Flaming Embers, where if you were a teenager, that was where you had your first date. Because a hamburger was about 90 cents, and you could go in there and act like you were big time and order you a steak. and that costs about
That
$2
was
and
good.
change. And oh man, but not afraid.
Well, the Flaming Embers down. There's still a restaurant and all that stuff.
Ain't no
but
Flaming Embers no more.
what down by the church? By the church on that corner.
It's a different name.
Yeah, I haven't seen the name.
You know, it's a different name. That Flaming Ember's been gone for a long time. I
Yeah.
saw something on Facebook, and somebody remembered the Chintiki.
Oh, I love
The
Chintiki.
Chintiki was up on Cass.
And all if you know,
Oh man, wasn't
you
it
go-
beautiful?
Yeah, we would. I forgot where I was working at that time, but I know many times all of us would go over to the Flame during lunchtime. Oh my God, that food was good.
Well, I'm talking about the Chintiki now. Is that where you used to go? Are you talking
I
about?
look, Maureen, we were going to every last one of them.
Well, the Chintiki had a Chinese,
The Chinese,
and
it was a big thing
Oh
then.
my goodness! And when you went in, they had that aquarium that was against the whole wall,
Yeah.
and linen on the
I
tables.
was
Oh
working
my
at Legal
goodness! You know,
Services then.
yeah, right around the corner. So you know, that's the period of time that we're talking about, and those memories as we go over. This is the last Friday of this year, and want to think back about some of these people we've had to give back. Here's the third one that we just found out about. There's an organization called the United Community Housing Coalition. Marion was just acknowledged and given an award just a couple of weeks ago for her work. Tim, when you pass by here again, my throat is thirsty, my lips are dry. If you got any water, Marion, you need some water to drink?
Oh, I
Nice,
always
my
look.
allergy medication.
Yeah.
You know. So, United Community Housing Coalition. Is it 45 years?
Oh, it's been longer. Than
No, I
that.
mean at your celebration. It was 45 years, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
You were awarded there at the International Institute. It ain't been but a month ago.
I know. I'm
You know,
listening to see what you're trying to
You know,
say.
now wasn't this their 45th anniversary?
there. Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
that's
yes.
what I'm thinking. And after 45 years, they are the housing specialists. And when they got started, we're talking Ted Phillips, we talk about Marilyn Mullane, and we talking about Karen
Ruth.
McLeod
Ruth.
that we have to give back.
Yeah.
And just heard that Karen made her transition not too long ago.
About
What
two-
can you say about the Housing Coalition? Thank you so
You
much.
know, it took us a while to get it right, but the people that work there do us some hell of a jobs in fighting. You know, welfare rights can call over there and get some backup and stuff like that. I mean, it's been there, Maureen, for the benefits of the class and the benefit of the people in the community for
Decades.
years.
Yeah,
For that, and it wasn't easy. Let me tell you, it
Thanks,
wasn't
Kim.
easy to get that place together. The city was fighting us tooth and nail on that. But I want to say to them is keep on fighting and doing the tremendous work that you have been doing for years. And that is protecting the right of people to decent housing.
Yes.
Protecting the people from being set out of their houses and what have you. If you don't know about it, look it up.
United Community Housing Coalition. They were at the same address on Bagley as long as I've known them. And just a few years ago, after some kind of dispute with the building,
Oh, yeah.
they moved to 2727 Second.
Second.
And you know where the Masonic Temple is.
Yeah.
They right across from Masonic Temple. What do they call that? The Michigan building. I forgot the rest of it.
It's right there.
You know, is
can't
that what
miss
it's
it.
called, though? The Michigan building?
I forgot.
Michigan Tech building.
No, it was
Isn't
at
that what
one
it
time.
is?
Yeah, but it was another name. But let's.
I think it's the Michigan Tech building now.
Yeah,
But
it's
that's
not
the
that.
address, and it's between the Masonic Temple and Cass Tech.
Yeah.
Okay? And they're the group that Welfare Rights, we still work together. And if you're having trouble with an eviction, you're having trouble with Section 8, you're having trouble with those kinds
Slum
of things.
landlords.
Yes, slum
That's
landlords.
what we used to. I was in the back of my head
Yeah.
because we had to even deal with them, and look like we got to even deal with them now. So, you know, it's not something that just grew up.
No,
It's
had to
been
build it.
the building and everything. All of it. I know at times Marilyn and I would find ourselves still at the office late at night. I mean, real late at night. And Jen be calling and saying, "You coming home?"
Yeah, working on cases.
Working on the next
You
day
know.
of cases that we needed to, you know, represent people on.
So Karen McLeod.
Carolyn, let me tell you about Carol.
Now you keep calling her
I know
Carolyn.
it.
Karen.
Yeah, Karen. We had to look. All of us had to look at it the other. You
Karen
you're talking about
McLeod.
a fighting woman for the benefit of poor people being able to get some type of representation and stuff like that. That was Carolyn. I mean, you had a ball when we get off from work. I mean, you know, even when I left legal services, she was one of the people that we would work with,
Still.
and wasn't afraid to speak up. You know, so you know, she was a dynamic woman on fighting for your interests. You
Housing
need to know
rights.
those
Yeah,
people.
yeah,
And you know, you wouldn't have some of the people that have housing now. She worked on your cases.
Now, Karen was one of the original organizers of the Cass Corridor Development Corporation.
Yes, she was.
And pulled together those landlords in the Cass Corridor
Mm-hmm.
and got some rules and whatnot together, heard some of the other folks to make certain that rents were at a certain amount.
Yeah, you
and you
remember when
couldn't
we-
charge more.
You remember when we sit down, even at our office downtown, and with Ted and Marilyn and stuff like. But Carolyn was the one, yeah, like you said, carried on those particular programs.
And making certain that it wasn't, let me see, what do they call it in New York? Rent control.
Yeah.
It wasn't that,
It's
but
a
it was
different
just
thing.
like that. That rent could not be but a certain area
That's
if you were going to belong to the Cass Community Development Corporation, CCDC.
What
I
the-
remember
the
that.
key
boy.
thing is
She
that
stayed on that.
yeah, because one thing that was developed was just what you said. Being fighting for the purpose
For
of people
rent.
to be in certain houses and stuff like that. But the key thing was being able to give fight and write grants for the benefit of people to be able to help them to take care of those houses
And
at
let's
a lower,
explain this a little bit
at
more.
a lower rate than they were being
Charged.
charged to pay in the beginning when they go to legal services.
Well,
on these slum landlords out
Let's
there.
talk about that a little bit because, see, people don't know they're being abused today because they don't know what used to be. And Karen and Yvette and Marilyn Mullane and Ted Phillips, Deb Choley,
Yes.
Claudia Sanford came later, but it was a whole bunch of folks that
worked.
went around to the Cass community. You know, they stopped calling it the Cass Corridor. They wanted to call it Midtown Detroit
Yeah.
because that, makes it, uppity.
When
But
you say they,
well,
explain who
the
they
corporations.
Is. That's right.
All right, so these women and men would go and canvass the neighborhoods, and if you own property in the Cass Corridor, they would make you an offer. Why don't you come and join, be a part of the Cass Community Development Corporation, and you have to pay some dues to be a member of the Housing Corporation, but the amount of rent that you could charge was at this amount, and you couldn't go past that. And so folks that had limited income had an opportunity to live in an apartment or townhouse
Nice
or whatever
places.
it was.
Nice places.
Very nice places, and that was the staple. Same thing like the UAW, same thing like League of Revolutionary Black Workers, establish a standard. And this is the standard. You can live at this kind of rate, and the landlord could not put you out. And if there were threats of being put out, they would mobilize the community, and
I
we
know
go on
we
over
were-
there and we'd stop this.
We wasn't going to do,
Oh boy,
I
that
mean,
went on for
those-
decades,
what you say,
Marion.
they were the
No nonsense.
people out there on the ground, and we'd go before city council and not let
Down
them
to the courts.
let them breathe until we able to get what was needed for the community.
So we're talking about a standard set decades ago, and things stayed that way for a long time. I thought about thinking about all of this as we were getting prepared for this last show, and saw on TV just a couple of days ago, Marion, the Mildred Smith Apartments.
Oh, my
now,
God.
I hadn't heard
Mildred.
about the Mildred Smith Apartments till you were, last time you talked about it years ago. And the reason it came up is during this frost, the maintenance apparently is not being worked on in these apartments like they used to be, and pipes burst, and they were showing the water in the Mildred Smith Apartments in the hallway, in people's homes. They out there with pillows and mattresses and whatnot, trying to keep the water out the apartments. Of course, you can't do it. And I thought about that, and I realized, we're talking decades when you were over there organizing in the Mildred Smith Apartments, which is different than the Smith homes over on Evergreen. I'm talking about right down here, what's on Forest? Is that where it is? And that piece of information came up. And I can't remember. It looks like it's not possible. But I don't recall there was a time where pipes were freezing and all of that kind of stuff was going on at the Mildred Smith Apartments. The maintenance was usually on top of stuff. Now, there was a lady that lived there. I've forgotten her last name. I'm going to call her first name and see if you can remember. Her real first name was Erin, and we called her Lou. Now, I can't remember Lou's last name, but didn't she live in the
One
space?
time.
She lived
but
in there?
then she moved over farther on the other side of the expressway.
But she was an advocate over there at
yeah,
the
we
Mildred
sent
Smith.
her over there.
What was
but,
her last name? Erin.
But Erin was a smart woman. She had been homeless. She joined the homeless union.
Yes.
And she made sure that they took care of that where they live. It's just a matter of
She showed me
talking to
how to
people.
write hearings.
uh-huh.
And she said, write it like this. And she would say, my landlord is acting in a deleterious and capricious manner. What the hell do those
Mildred
words mean?
I ran into
You
one
know,
of her teachers.
You called her Mildred. You talking about Lou.
Lou. I'm talking. Yeah,
I had to go look the words up. What is she talking
she
about?
was smart.
Deleterious and capricious. Lou,
and
what
and
does that
she
mean?
and Lou was
that's
forced
how
to be
she wrote
homeless,
those
and
hearings.
when we
Oh, what a woman!
she stayed on with us real
Yeah,
good,
long
but,
time.
But then we tried to. Everybody started saying, "Where is
She
she?"
moved again.
And she was
Started to get sick.
Yeah, and next thing we knew, she had passed in her
Joined the
apartment.
ancestors. Yeah.
Wonderful woman.
But again, there was somebody else that was involved with the safety and security of the community and worked to put standards in place that said this is the way we're supposed to live. And Marion and I talking about hearings. What we're talking about is hearings against, at that time, Family Independence Agency, writing a hearing against the welfare department. And Lou and you and Yvette frightening. When I first come into welfare rights, boy, these ladies scared the daylights out of me. But the sincerity of that fight that they were involved in, and
And we
fighting
going
for
back
the
to it.
rights of
Yes, hello.
just regular and low income people. Caller, thank you for your patience. Thank you for calling in. Welcome to the Welfare Rights Final 2022 broadcast for the year. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes, hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
I was trying to get some information for homeowners such as myself that still live in the city of Detroit, and we seem to be having trouble getting resources to maintain our homes.
Okay, now when you say resources, do you mean repairs or back
Yes,
taxes being paid? What are you thinking
yes.
about?
More so than paying the taxes. We're talking about, to be able to just fix your roof or to be fix
Okay.
things like that. Most of the programs that are offered are, either they have a limit or there's something you have to qualify for, and it isn't necessarily a good fit, for
Um,
most of the residents.
Sir, do you have a pen and paper, something to write with?
Yes, I do.
Okay, now the only program that I am aware of, because Mary, what he's talking about, there was a time that there were programs and the federal government had money
All that
available,
stuff.
and we would string telephones all over the place so we could call in and constituents could call in and qualify. The only program I'm aware of now that is able to do work on roofs, able to do work on stairs leading into the property, those kinds of things is an organization called Wayne Metro. Now, sir, have you
Okay.
contacted Wayne Metro yet?
Just for the water, we weren't able to get into that program until January for the whole program.
Okay,
Okay.
but you are signed up for it.
Yes.
Okay,
Keep
that's the
calling.
only program I know. And in January is when they're going to start calling folks. And I know you have the number 388-9799. That's the only number, the only organization I'm aware of that still is able to do that kind of work. So you've got the number. Soon as January 2nd hit, be on the phone.
Okay.
Good luck to you, sir.
And let me say to you too, sir. Uh, you know what's going on as far as these houses and people over there probably that need help and stuff like that. You need to come down and join Michigan Welfare Rights.
Definitely. I would definitely do that.
You know where we're
Okay.
located?
I believe so.
Well, we're going to give the number out
Yeah.
before the program is over, so call us.
Okay, I will do that.
All right,
All
good
right.
luck to you, young man.
Thank you.
All right
Thank
now.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Caller, you are on the air. Thank you for calling Ask Welfare Rights. Caller, you're on the air. Caller, you there? Caller, you there?
You're not there.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can now. Good morning, caller. You are on the air.
I just want to say happy 2023, and I'm sending you all love and light, health and wealth, and many more blessings. Love y'all.
Love
And thank
too.
you and happy Kwanzaa to you as
You.
well.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, we're going to be at the Hood Research got us at the Sunday at 3 p.m. We'll be at the church. Is that King Solomon on
King
14th?
Solomon up on 14th. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, we'll be on there, and Michael Hotep is a guest as well. I think we should be calling Maureen Taylor to come back with us too. We love you.
And goodbye. All right. Thank you, caller. Good morning, caller. This is the Welfare Rights Broadcast, and caller, you are on the air.
And thank you for being there.
There
You,
she
you,
is. It's Miss Theo. Go ahead.
Hey, Miss
yes, it
Theo.
is. I was calling to say thank you for all that you share and give to this community. I wanted to say that before this year was over, and also I'm appreciative that you participated with Hood Research at our Kwanzaa celebration
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
And and that Sylvia is a Hood Research poet, or I should say poetess, and she does a beautiful job as well. We're expecting her to be with us this coming Sunday at the historic King Solomon Baptist Church. It's at 6100 14th Street. And you know, I don't have a issue with Kwanzaa being celebrated throughout the community. I do have an issue
I know.
with the black community being pushed out of the Dr. Charles Wright Museum.
Isn't that something?
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
still
Dr.
have
Charles
that.
Wright just collected all kinds of African history, African American history, and artifacts starting out in his basement. Then he got a trailer next to his home, and he kept expanding and expanding. And he was on John R. He caught the eye and the ear of Mayor Coleman Young. Then Varner, as a Harold Varner and his partner, designed, developed, and built that beautiful museum on East Warren. And I guess because it's such a beautiful facility, there are others who don't want us to have a beautiful facility.
Isn't that awful?
And
Isn't
then
that awful?
when Charles was was asked to be head of the
Talking about Charles Farrell.
Charles
Farrell.
I was about to say, what my cousin said his name?
Charles Farrell.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm glad you brought his name up. He turned that museum in for the benefit of the community, and when people never did know what was going on over there, and it began to every weekend and everything, something was going on. And here we don't have one no more that speaks to what we need.
Well, we've been kicked out, and I know, we're at the beginning of the pandemic, 2019, and now we're trying to wrestle our way to the door to get out of this doggone pandemic after 3 years, and then we got this frost that hit us. Excuse me, and all the rest of these personal losses and whatnot. But Miss Theo, I know that myself and Marion, I talked to her about this, and some other folks. As soon as we get our feet planted really good and safe, we're gonna deal with this.
Okay.
We're gonna deal with this. You can't throw us out of the African American Museum, and here comes Kwanzaa, and we can't go there. What?
Right.
And
One day out of 7 is the craziest thing I ever heard. You know, a while back I had been told that if you wanted to be on the board, you had to either raise or give $10,000. Okay? I attended one of the annual meetings of the Dr. Charles Wright Museum, which they don't want to say Dr. Charles Wright anymore. They just want to call it the Wright Museum.
And his family is still here.
Yes. But anyway, at this annual meeting, there were two groups. One group gave a check of $21,000, black folk. Another group gave a check of $46,000.
What happened with it?
I kept saying, now, wait a minute. If the first group gave 21, that's 10,000 twice. They should have 2 representatives on the board.
Should.
If the other one gave 46,000,
Ought to have
what I
4.
would have done if it had been my organization would have given 4,000.
That's right.
Okay, I'm sorry, 40,000 for 4 people on the board, and kept the 6 to add to it for the next year.
That's right.
But they were just happy to be there, I guess. I am with you, and am willing to work on the reclaiming of our museum, and also of the city council showing respect for the black community. The paratransit group were down there at the end of the agenda, being kept there all day long. People on canes,
That's on
crutches,
purpose, too.
walkers, wheelchairs, and seniors in there, and they were disrespected.
And that's the last agenda item.
I'm telling you, yeah. And so what if somebody got to go to dialysis? They're there first thing in the morning, there all day.
You couldn't
Got to
participate.
take medicine.
Yeah.
People in wheelchairs having to go to the restroom.
And that's by design that this is happening.
We got to address that also.
And
There's total disrespect for the black community.
It's total disrespect for the poor community altogether, and I hope you stay on that, and where we can begin to get some people together and tell them we're taking back our
museum.
our museum, and anything else you done stole from us.
Boy.
Right. Well,
I tell you.
you got to be aware of that budget and what they're going to put in it for
boy.
the museum, so
Yes,
that it will
it is.
continue to decline. And that's definitely not what we need to happen.
For sure, for sure.
We need to
Okay.
You know,
let you make sure that you can bring that to us,
Okay.
because it's not only how I mean Detroit. It's the same thing with Highland Park. We got to keep a foot on their necks
Okay.
on what they have. Some of them have left, and
Mhm.
we know that some of them stole a lot of money out of Highland Park and trying to steal it now.
Oh.
I'm putting that out there because
Right.
they know that they did not do what was necessary to clean that place up for the benefit of the city.
Okay. All right.
Miss Theo, Sunday, 3 o'clock, historic King
King
Solomon
Solomon
Church,
Baptist Church. Yeah,
uh,
6114th Street.
last
Right on.
day of Kwanzaa.
Yes.
Okay.
All
All righty,
right.
let's see what can happen.
Okay.
Thank you, Miss Theo. Be safe.
Yes.
Thank you.
All
too.
right, thank you very much. 868-433-6866-0351, 868-0342. Want to move right along with some of these historic remembrances. And we were talking about how the different places we would frequent, the different soul food restaurants that used to be around, I remember, and going to these different places to get a meal and a carry out, go inside to eat and all those kinds of things, and not being afraid was a highlight. You know, just weren't afraid to go places. And again, that's when we had almost 2 million people. Well, some of you may have seen the story. There was a woman that pulled up at a beer and wine and a liquor store, a convenience store right there on Grand River and West Outer Drive. And that was on, oh
2
boy,
days ago.
this is Friday. What day was that? That
Day
was
before
Wednesday?
Yeah.
Tuesday or Wednesday. You know, so much sadness. And she was being watched, and she's being watched by a stranger that with a gun that came to that community with the purpose of stealing, robbing somebody. And she went in the store, came out, and was approaching her car, and this demon grabbed her and shot her. Emptied out her pockets, dumped out her purse with her belongings in it, and drove away in her car. So it was a carjacking robbery. You know, if you're going to rob somebody, what are you shooting them for? Well, she passed. And her name was Tracy Woods Golden, my cousin. And my whole family we've just been beside ourselves because this was so horrible. We talking about men shooting girls, shooting women, you know, just unbelievably demonic kinds of behaviors and whatnot. So we're counterposing what it used to be 30, 40 years ago, and we were all over the place and we weren't afraid. And now you can't go out on your front porch.
You have to
Can't
be
go
home
to the
by
store. Can't go to the gas station at night. Caller, hold on just a second. I'm coming right to you. You know, so were you going to say something, Mary?
Yeah, you know, it
Just-
used to be we could be outside or go to the store as like you know
You
Tracy
could do
did.
it.
You could do it every night, you know, and you knew who was there and everything. But
weren't afraid.
this is who you know
Ambush.
ambush and got a child, right?
No,
That
no, no kids.
Okay.
But went into a store and came right back out again, and before she could get home, got shot and killed and robbed, and the criminal riding around in the car. You know, it's just unfathomable the kinds of things that are going on out here. Caller, you've been very patient. You are on the air. Thank you for calling. Ask Welfare Rights. Caller, you are on the air. Go ahead.
Good morning, everyone.
And good morning.
This is Janet Spite White.
Oh, good to hear your
Hey,
voice.
Miss Janet,
And
go ahead.
And it's so good to see Mary. I am so happy to see that you are visiting.
Okay. Okay.
And I just wanted to wish everyone a happy New Year, and that it was, and the show was so interesting. And my brother was talking about the league the other day, how it was responsible for making him the man he is today. Those
Yes.
group of people,
Yes.
and he was just talking about it.
All right.
Janet,
Well,
If we
listen,
need
I'll
more people
say
like that in the community for the young people.
yes. Yes. Happy Kwanzaa and Happy New Year to you as well.
Okay, everyone, stay safe.
Good. And, Janet, the
Yes.
other thing is have your brother to call me because we trying to see what steps we're gonna take around Richard and Ed
What is
around
Ed's last name?
Taylor.
Taylor.
Oh, he's asked me, was it Ed Taylor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna call him now.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, dear.
Thank.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Happy holidays.
Say bye.
All right. All right. We're coming down to our last 12 minutes. 868 4336 868 0342 868 0351. Caller, you've been patient. Thank you for waiting. And thank you for calling Ask Welfare Rights. Caller, you're on the air.
Yes, I was calling in about the old log cabin Pigfoot place on Oakland, right off of Holbrook.
Okay, now I heard something about this before. Now tell me again, this is the old log
Okay,
cabin.
the old Booker T Theater that was on Holbrook. Bartwell's was right on the corner.
Okay, now what's that first one you're talking about on Oakland? Caller?
Yes,
All right, what is that first place you talked about on Oakland? On Oakland.
on Oakland. It was a log cabin Pigfoot.
Now the
Oh,
log cabin
Pigfoot and
Pigfoot.
ribs.
Wait a minute. Now
Right.
let me hold on. Let me get this straight. The log cabin Pigfoot.
Yeah, it's right across the street from Champion Bar.
Now what did they do at the log cabin Pigfoot?
Well, they sold pig feet dinners,
Ooh, Lord.
Oh Lord.
Pig feet
and
dinners.
oh, you got the biggest ones. They would overload the plates, and people were in line to get in there.
Well, it was the good old days.
Carla, I'm about to challenge you because I don't know. I heard about somebody else
You remember
mentioned
that?
this a while back, but I ain't never heard of the Pigfoot
Yeah, it
log
was
cabin
right.
restaurant. But
What street she
Yep,
said?
they sold ribs, they sold pig feet,
Oakland and
but
something.
that was the main menu was the pig feet.
Ooh, Lord have mercy.
So they would put 2 and 3 big old pig feet on your plate.
It was good.
You'd have enough for 2 or 3
You
people.
ain't never been to no log cabin
Look, Maureen,
Pigfoot place
I
on
grew up
right
Oakland.
eating
next
food.
door
I
to
mean,
a shrimp
that kind
place.
of food.
Well, now, Carla, it must be the truth because you the second person that mentioned this.
Yeah.
Because
So,
they moved from there and they moved over on 12th Street.
on 12th Street.
Wow.
All right,
Yeah,
all right.
That's would be right.
Well, Carla, you helping us taking this trip down memory lane here?
And they had the old Barthwell store right there on the corner of
Barthwell.
Old Brook.
Okay.
And then down the street was Booker T Theater.
The Booker T Theater. I don't remember that one. Okay.
Maureen, you were at
Yeah,
home.
the
Yeah.
Booker T Theater, and they had the Alhambra. They were the hottest theaters on the north end.
Oh, the
Oh,
North End.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Well, all right, Carla. Look like you
Thank
got
you.
some good old memories going here.
Yes, ma'am.
And thank you, Carla, for sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you all. And thank you for the great work that you're doing.
And thank you very much. All right, caller. Thank you for your patience and thank you for calling in to Welfare Rights. Caller, you are on the air.
Good morning.
And good morning.
Yes, I'd like to add something, Marine and Marion, to that log cabin. We used to leave Dodge Lane from after the afternoon shift, and we used to go there.
To the log cabin, Pigfoot.
Also, listen to this. I want to add something to. I want to add something to y'all Kwanzaa.
Go ahead.
Okay, it is a Kansas were a dynasty of black women who ruled Nubia for several hundred years. I'm talking about you queens, okay?
Okay. I'm
I
familiar
love you.
with that. And
Love
thank you
you.
so very much. All right, thank you, caller. All right, well, looks like that's a third person that remembers the log cabin Pigfoot restaurant. My goodness, I thought I knew a lot about the city of Detroit and downtown, but that's the third person. So I guess there was such a place because 3 people have talked about it already.
And
you
if
know?
they went from Dodge, Maine,
From Dodge, Maine.
during the time they supposed to have been working.
Well, they're talking about at lunch.
I know it. That place
Must have existed. Yeah,
Yes.
must have existed. My goodness, my goodness. Okay, back to this situation with Tracy. And again, this is Tracy Golden. Tracy's mom, she's gone to, her name was Cassandra Woods.
Yeah.
And
Dynamic
Cassandra,
around Detroit, too.
her mother's name was Nettie. And Nettie and her sister Vera and her sister Doris, it was 3 of them. They played cards with my mom's sister Henrietta, and my mom's sister Willa Mae. And they used to go to that building that, let me see, the Red Parrot. And it was at least the last times they would play together. They're all gone now. They've all joined the ancestors. And they would go up to this hotel that's on the Service Drive and 9 Mile, West 9 Mile. And they played cards. And that hotel is closed. I passed it yesterday. It just breaks my heart. Because we used to have events up in that place. They got wood in the windows, and half the windows are broken out. What a mess. But we're going to go play cards. And we talking about some women that played cards, big round table
All day
at the
long.
hotel. And they get there about noon, and they weren't ready to go till 7 or 8 o'clock at night. And I would go up there, and I'd be in ordered turkey sandwiches for all of them, and a salad, and soft drinks and whatnot. And I'd, make the arrangements and get the food and bring it in. And I would say, hey, you all, I bought you something to eat. And they would say, you're disturbing us. We're playing cards. Put the food on the table and go. My goodness, what a rough bunch of women. So you couldn't get up in there and have no conversation or stand around and watch them because they tell you right quick, you have to get out of here. Well, Nettie's daughter was Cassandra, and Cassandra used to come here. Sandra was part of a group called the Scarfs. And the Scarfs were women who were fighting breast cancer. And my cousin Sandra had a program right here at WHPR. I have to check with RJ maybe 15 years ago. And she would be talking about ways to fight breast cancer. And very, very involved. And that was the first time I think I'd ever heard. Very good. First time I'd ever even heard of the radio station. Well, Sandra, the cancer took her. And Sandra had 2 kids, one named Carl Jr., and we called him Beaver. And her other child, goodness, was Tracy, and now they're both gone. This is where we are in Detroit. The engineer just said we have to wind it up. So I was telling Marion this morning, I feel so empty, and there's nothing I can do. But I guess there is something that we can all do. We have to organize for a better life, organize for a better environment, organize for a better atmosphere, organize for a better city. And we want to do that. Now, Marion, you got 30 seconds to say Happy New Year and goodbye.
Well, you almost said it all for me.
Well, no, your turn.
Again, I was happy to be here. It felt good. And I hope you join some organization,
Something.
where we can make this world a better world, and be able to understand that this stuff is for all of us out here, and you need to be a part of the fight to make sure that we have a better world. We're looking for you. Call us. Come join Welfare Rights and get active.
Happy New Year. The number to Welfare Rights is 313-964-0618, 964-0618. My family is devastated. We
Yes.
got multiple things to deal with. So I ask you all to keep us
Beautiful
in your
child.
prayers. And Mary and I wish you all a happy Kwanzaa and a happy New Year. And with that, we'll say goodbye.
Goodbye.
I'm Wayne County Treasurer Eric Sabri. We are living through unprecedented times with a global pandemic now approaching its third year. As a result, the Michigan Homeowner Assistance Fund was created. This fund, administered by the state of Michigan, is designed to help homeowners cope with pandemic-related hardships, such as delinquent property taxes. To see if you qualify, please visit. Call 313-388-9799 or email taxinfo@waynecounty.com. We're here to help.